So come on in. I hope my video is my microphone was on that whole time. I noticed it wasn't. Good morning, beautiful Carrie from Jamaica. How are you? Facebook user, comment again, please. Let me know who this is. So we continue in the chapter on spirituality is your superpower, and now we're talking about your spiritual foundation. At the core of every queen is her highly developed relationship with Source. It's the most beautiful gift a woman can give herself. As queens, it is our driving force, our safest place, our foundation. Looking for unconditional love, true security, complete peace, boss lady confidence, deep belonging, total support, clear guidance, and healing powers, God's your guy. And if you're interested in eliminating the feeling that you're not good enough or not worthy, look no further. See, this is the key. Good morning, beautiful Mary. Oh, yeah, you can hear me now. Yeah, my mic, I noticed was off before. Good morning, beautiful Melody. How are you, gorgeous? So this is the key. So when she says, you're looking for unconditional love, true security, complete peace, boss lady confidence, deep belonging, total support, clear guidance, and healing powers, God's your guy. And if you're interested in eliminating that feeling that you're not good enough, not worthy enough, look no further. She says, look no further because God has already said to you, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're his masterpiece. He called you good. But here's the challenge. Good morning, beautiful Jacqueline. How are you? Good morning, Karen. Thank you so much for joining us. Here's the challenge. If you're not tuned in to the word, if you're not tuned into what God's saying about you, then you won't have that as an immediate recall. So this is one thing that I do. This is part of my morning routine. Every morning is my Bible study. Because when she says, look no further, here is the word. Here is God himself, his word made manifest. But if you're not in here on a daily basis with any frequency, any regularity, you'll miss it. And then you'll fall victim, you'll fall prey to what the outer world, what the people in the streets are saying, because you're paying more attention. Thank you, God. You're paying more attention to what the people in the street are saying than what God himself is saying about you. And my question to you is, did the people in the street make you queen? Did the people in the street breathe life into you, queen? Do the people in the street give you your daily bread, queens? Those questions you get to answer. So you get to look at the percentage of your listening. What percentage of your listening is tuned in to what the people in the street say about you versus what percent of your listening is tuned in to what God is saying about you? And so if you're feeling little lacking in confidence, little lacking in self-esteem, little lacking in self-worth, well, then no wonder. Because you don't have the word of God as your foundation, as your solid rock foundation to prep you up when somebody rolls up on you and says, oh, you talk too much. You're always talking. You're always on Facebook. You don't have the word of God that says, Jesus says, let your light shine, that a light is made to be put on a lampstand, not hidden under the cupboard. You don't have that as like a quick retort. You don't have that as your quick, solid foundation. And then you fall victim and then you start to go, oh my gosh, yeah, maybe I do. Somebody said that to me. And here's what I want you to take from that. So number one, I see that and I just hear, devil, Satan, get thee behind me. Because if I'm talking too much, and when I talk, I call on the name of the Lord, you're basically telling me stop talking so much, because the God in me is showing up too much, because it is the God in me that allows me to do what I do. I am no more special, different than anybody else. But I have the word of the Lord that anchors me. So when she says, look no further than the word. All right. Good morning, beautiful Brenda Swanson, hanging out in her Bel Air lifestyle. How are you, beautiful? Amber, good morning, my love. Absolutely, Jacqueline. We say hail to the no. Yep, unbothered. That is our universal hashtag here on the Brand Momentum Show. Hashtag unbothered. And this is what I said to the person. I said, as long as my intention is like the doctor's creed, they take that oath, do no harm. As long as you know your intention, the motivation behind why you do the things that you do, why you show up the way you show up, as long as it's not to do harm, you're not on your Facebook dragging people's name in the streets. You're not out there kikiing and talking about how people look or how they dress. You're out here using your superpowers for good. Then you, my queen, are good. You keep going. You keep going. Because that right there is nothing but devil work. Using the people in the street to come at you to go, oh, well, I don't like the way you do your hair. Oh, you dress too uptight. You should do it. Anybody has anything to say to you, what do I always say to you? Ask them if they have a check for you. Because that's the only reason that they should be speaking to you and giving you direction, is if they have paid you to do a particular thing. We stay unbothered. Because the people in the street didn't breathe life into me. The people in the street did not cause my heart to beat. The people in the street didn't give me my vision. The people in the street didn't give me the desires of my heart. God and God himself alone. He alone is God. But if you're not propped up, if you're not taking in that word every day, if you're just doing it on Sunday, then you don't have enough of a strong foundation. So you will fall victim to what they say, but you get to be anchored. Your foundation. This is what we're talking about now. The foundation, the core, the pillars of who you are and who you get to be and how you get to show up, anchored in your spirituality, your connection to source, God himself. We read on. The universe doesn't make extra humans. That means that everyone matters and everyone's life is valuable, including yours. With spirit on your side, you'll no longer doubt your capabilities or your destiny to live the epic life. Wherever you are at on your journey, your one-of-a-kind purpose is an indestructible force within you. As we say in Jamaica, don't be a weak fence. Though it's been suppressed, trapped in endless to-do lists, locked up in the mediocre and limited thinking of the world, it only needs to be reconnected to the unlimited nature of spirit to thrive. Busy is boring. For modern day women, too often we've gotten used to mindlessly tolerating passionless days at our computers, bland, low-cal chicken salads, and overpacked schedules. Consequently, we fall out of practice at using our spiritual superpowers to create miracles for our epic life and defer back to society's stale, man-made rules and restrictions. You must save for retirement. They say get married, secure a mortgage, go to sleep early on a school night, watch your waistline, go to college and get a job. Don't touch your 401k as if it's not yours. Throw in a white picket fence and a minivan named anything but what is it, Sienna or Odyssey? And somewhere along the way, we've slipped back into the unconscious, scarcity-based thinking of the world and made it our gospel. Like we don't know God is a God of multiplication. God doesn't play by society's or your great-grandfather's rules. Did infinite intelligence guide you to pad your savings account, or was that your financial planner's advice? Were you spiritually guided to buy the house even though you didn't absolutely love it, or did your mother declare that's what responsible adults do? Are you convinced that you can't start that dream business because you don't know enough yet? Queens, listen. Because clearly it wasn't the universe who made the ridiculous rule that you need 10,000 hours of experience or several PhDs to be of big service in this world. There's significant difference between what humans think is possible and what God knows is possible. Spirit operates 180 degrees differently from the thinking of mortals. What a relief. The universe doesn't actually care about strategy, stats, practicality, or even probability because its realm is unlimited possibility and daily miracles. Good morning, gorgeous. How are you? Yes, Jacqueline, start asking for your check. Do you have a check for me? Simple. Spirit comes from love. And if we're not careful, humans can function almost exclusively from a fear-based mindset. Check your mindset, queens. Are you fearful? Are you running around scared of everything? Afraid to do this, afraid to do that? You're not living in God's will. You're not living like you understand that God and God himself alone is God, and that he alone sits on the throne, and that he alone owns it all. This morning when I was doing my Bible study, I was on the chapter of faith. What is faith? Let me see if I can pull this up quickly, because this is the key. If you don't believe, if you don't have big faith, even if you have little faith and you're striving for even a little faith, we get to strive for that for sure. What is faith? Faith means being sure of the things we hope for and knowing that something is real even if we don't see it. Do you believe you get to live an epic life? You may not be seeing the evidence of an epic life around you right now, but please let that not be the reason you don't believe it is possible for you. Faith is the reason we remember great people who lived in the past. It is by faith we understand that the whole world, not piece part, not some of it, the whole world was made by God's command. So what we see was made by something that cannot be seen. Okay? It was by faith that Abel offered God a better sacrifice than Cain. God said he was pleased with the gifts Abel offered and called Abel a good man because of his faith. Abel died, but through his faith, he is still speaking. It was by faith that Noah heard God's warning, and about the things he could not yet see, he obeyed God and built a large boat to save his family. It was by faith Abraham obeyed God's call to go to another place promised to give him. It was by faith that Abraham was about to sacrifice his one good son, Isaac, and God blessed him and gave him father of nations and nations upon nations. Yes, it is. Yes, Marion. Have more faith in the success of my business that God has called me to expand when I read this chapter of the book. We get to believe. If there is one thing you get to work on, it is your belief. This morning when I was praying, I said, God, I am unbothered. I am no longer going to be worrying about the who, when, where, what, why, how of my success, of my VSP, of anything. I'm just going to do exactly what you put in front of me. I'm no longer going to try to figure it out, because that's where we get stuck sometimes. It's like, well, how is it going to happen? I don't see it. But it's by faith. When I took action and reached out to the dean of the business school, Houston University, Victoria, who knows me from nowhere, it was by faith that I took that step and said, God will anoint my deeds. And it was by faith that I sent a subsequent follow-up email to say, hey, Dean, want to do a free pricing strategy masterclass for the people in 2 weeks? And he said, yes. And it's by faith that I reach out to all of these other speakers, experts, to say, hey, want to come sit on the board of directors for my CEO Bootcamp and Mastermind Intensive for my CEOs? Because then I could say, oh my gosh, he's a dean of the business school, he's a PhD, he's enough time for me to. But I have to act like I know God owns it all. God owns it all. So we're not really asking the people, can you do this for me or that for me? We're asking God. God, put the people in my path. And it's not your business to worry about whether they're able or willing. God's will be done. You get to let go, Marianne. You get to let go of the fear and the indecision, because it doesn't serve you well. And if it's not serving you well, you can't show up and serve your people. So what is it going to take, Momentum Crew? What is it going to take for you, for us to believe? I keep saying, stop trusting your lying eyes. Because you don't see opulence, joie de vivre, private planes in your life right now. You take that to mean it's not possible for me. I remind you of when President Kennedy went to the NASA scientists and said to the lead scientists, because remember now, this had not been done at the time. What is it going to take to get a man on the moon? Has never been done before. And the lead scientist said, the will to do it. He didn't talk about, oh, we need this much plutonium and we need this and we need 50 trillion. It's just the will to do it. You know the saying, where there's a will, there is a way. Do you have the will? Are you willing to summon up your will to believe that you get to have this epic life, to believe that all things are possible? Do you believe that? We get to move out of lip service and into full physical service. Because when you believe, your actions show it. When you're in lip service, your actions belie your words. Because you say you believe, but you're not, you're afraid to go pick up the phone and call that person and ask them to do a collaboration with you. You're afraid because you give more honor, more deference to them than God himself, who's the creator of the universe. That annoys God very much. Very much. Disobedience to God annoys him very much. And you don't want to annoy God. Because the Bible is an open book for life. I say that all the, it's like an open book test. Belief and faith are, hundreds of times in the Bible written examples, stories of people who believed. People who don't believe are setting forth to make God a liar, right? Because God says he is the truth, the light, the way. His word is golden. So if he said that, and then I hear you come around the corner saying, Oh Lord, this new program that I'm trying to do, it's not even possible because, I don't have the right connections and I don't really have the money right now to enroll in any programs to help me figure out how to do that. So it's not even going to happen. I'm not even going to try. You know what you just did? You called God a liar to his face. And so we worry more about the people in the streets because we get to make them feel comfortable. Oh, no, no, no. I'm not striving for $500,000. I'm just trying to do, just the basic. I'm just trying to just make it, I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut in this world. Because you rather make the people feel comfortable than give honor, deference, respect to God. When you call him a liar to his face, when you say things aren't possible, you're calling God a liar. I need you to hear me on that. And it might feel or sound inconsequential to you, Queens, because you can't see him. Please understand God's right here, right now. He's right here, right now in your face. Put your hand up to your face like this. This is God. Ask him for what you want. Ask him for big faith. This is what I pray for. I say, God, give me big faith. Help me to believe more. Because once you have the belief, once you believe your epic life is possible, I mean, my goodness, there is no limit for you because God is not confined by boundaries set forth by man. I mean, he made the hands of man. How are they going to contain him? Right? He is the potter. The cup can't tell the potter what to do. The potter is making the cup the way he chooses to make the cup. The cup just gets to sit there and be molded. That's why it's important that we say God's will be done. Yes, Jacqueline Love, we're all a work in progress. We are all a work in progress. But when we can come humbly and say, I know I'm not there yet. Help me, Lord. Extend my faith bigger, bolder. That's where the magic happens. So let me ask Queens right here, right now, your level. So we get to check in with each other. This is now the belief meter for your epic life, whatever that means for you. It's epic. It's out there. It's universal, epic, big, huge, awesome life. Again, whatever that looks like for you. So on the scale, the spectrum, 1 is I couldn't find an epic life experience if it knocked me in the face. And 10 being I am fully expressed in this epic life and it's getting more epic by the minute. Give me your number, scale of 1 to 10, your belief number that you believe you can have an epic life. What's your number? Do you believe that this can happen for you? Check in now. Put your hand on your heart. What is a desire of your heart? What are you desiring for? What does your epic life feel like, look like to you? Right? Is it taking quarterly vacations to all of the top 10 beaches across the world and going with your family or your girlfriends and renting a beachside cottage and just hanging out and eating and having personal chefs come and cook for you, and you're catching up on all of your good read books and just having a really, really good time with your girlfriends? Right? Is it being able to take a road trip and go to all of the beautiful sites and places in this country? Right? Is it going on a mission to Africa for 3 months and just going and doing good work? Whatever it is for you, what is your belief that that is possible? That you're not questioning. If you're questioning, you're like, from where I'm sitting right now, I don't really see how that's possible because, I've got 3 kids. My husband's only working part-time. My mortgage is, so your belief is I don't really see in my lifetime how that could ever happen for me, how I could just be like, you know what, we're taking 5 months off and we're going to travel the country. All right, let's see the numbers. Good morning, Jacqueline Ann. Thank you for joining us, beautiful. So Jacqueline's 10 says she believes. Doesn't necessarily mean that she's having it right now, but do you believe it is possible for you? Do you believe? Do you walk around this earth? Do you hold your shoulders up like you believe you're a queen and you get to have the desires of your heart because that's what God said? Jacqueline's registering her 10 that she believes that. Karen says 10. I live the life. I love happy. I love happy, healthy, wealthy, awake, aware, and alive with peace of mind. That's her 10 that says she believes that that life right there that she just described is possible. Jacqueline's at a 9.5. I asked largely and know so much coming at me. I feel I can't catch up. So much part of my business is he's giving it to me. I know he's giving it to me. That this is Jacqueline's that she believes. Where is everybody? The studio is full of people. Let me see your numbers. The faith is the biggest thing, Queens, that we get to do. That we get to close down the noise from the people in the streets. And we get to believe God's word. Marion said 6, and her belief is growing. This is the command. Jesus says, if you had faith just as small as a mustard seed, teeny, teeny, tiny. He says, if you had even just that amount of the good faith, you could say to this mountain be moved, and it would fall into the ocean. This is the power, guys. This is the power that we have within that is not activated. Which book was it that we read, Momentum Crew, where we talked about, I think it was High Performance Habits, that the human body has like 30, I'll actually find the number, 30,000, like the amount of 30,000 like energy bombs inside of us, the amount of energy that if we pushed it together would be the equivalent of like a hydrogen bomb that's within us. Do you guys understand what that means? It's in us. It's not activated. The human brain, we only use about 11% capacity of what the human brain can do. Only 11% is used. It's like one of my new favorite analogies. It's like somebody loaned us their Ferrari for 3 months and said, use it. And we're like, yep, I'm going to just take it to Publix and I'm going to go about 25 miles in the neighborhood, pick up a few groceries and come back and park it. That's like what we're doing. Melody is at an 8. She's she's on the stretch and looking forward. Everybody, I want you to hear me. This is it. This is the work that we get to do. And pray for big faith. When you pray, walk around your house saying, God, give me big faith. Increase my faith. God, help me to believe more. That's the keys to the kingdom. When you believe, remember Abraham, faith, believe in God that the Lord will provide. He's believing the Lord will provide, all the while God saying, get Isaac, let's go. We're going to sacrifice him. And he's still believing somehow, some way the Lord's going to provide. And he moves forward in faith. And there you go. There's your ram in the bush. Yeah, so many places for evidence. Carrie's at a 3. Carrie says, I care more about everyone's well-being than mine. I try, but I feel stuck every time it has to do with me. Carrie, my love, thank you for your transparency and thank you for your vulnerability on that, because you're not alone. This is not a unique place. So hear me when I say to you, if you can rest in the knowing, if you can just tune out everything else and focus in on God says you're a masterpiece, that God makes no mistakes, that your ways are not his ways and your thoughts are not his thoughts, that you can just suspend your own belief, you can close your lying eyes and go inward and just say, God, connect me to your big source of faith. Because when we don't believe, when we say, it's for other people, it's not for me, what we're saying is, God, you made a mistake. Your plan fall off somewhere down the road, the calculations you were making, you made a mistake. God is perfect in his perfection. And the one thing, and I shared this with my team in the leadership program that we're doing, the one thing that has been such a moment of transformation for me is I just completely surrendered. You know that song, I Surrender All? Find that, sing that, play that. Surrender. Because the reason we're either at a 3 or a 6 or an 8 is that we don't believe it, because we're still putting ourselves in the mix to try to figure it out, queens. We're still trying to do the work. That's why your number is where your number is. But if you suspended and just said, God, you created the heavens and the earth, you created this universe, there is nothing too big for you. When Moses tried to give the excuse, so Moses would have probably been at like a 4. It's like, I can't go deliver children of Israel from Egypt. That's too big for me. That's not possible for me. I don't know king language. I can't go in front of, like Pharaoh would have been like this big influencer, right? Back in the day. I can't go talk to no celebrity influencer about my mission and what I'm here trying to do and what the vision is I have for the people of Israel. I can't do that. Did God buy into his story? What did God say to Moses? Yes, ma'am. We have resurrection. Thank you, Jacqueline. We have resurrection blood in our veins. And your belief multiplies 10x's the favor. I tell people this all the time. I said, you know what? Favor ain't fair. When people look at you, go, oh my gosh, you so many winnings, Faith. What's going on? So many winnings. It's because I believe. It's because I dare to believe. It's because I dare to glorify, say loud, proud, bold, unbothered, don't give a hoot. I was going to say something else about what the people in the streets have to say about me and my God, because me and my God are a majority and we get to do everything. I get to do everything because God says he has got my back. He's the Alpha, the Omega. He is ahead of me, behind me, right beside me, all around me. Can't nobody tell me nothing about me and my God. So my belief is big. We have resurrection blood coursing through our veins. If you don't believe, this is the challenge, and this is the work that we get to do. Because as long as you're unbelieving, the gates are not going to swing wide open for you. It's just like a math. It's like a computer coding. If this, then that. If then statements. If you know anything about coding, if this, then that. If 2 zeros present, then that. That's the formula. That's literally how it works. You will fill in the blank, get the desires of your heart when you believe. You know, Oprah says this all the time. You don't get what you wish for, you get what you believe. And stop trusting your lying eyes. Stop it. Because I'm sitting here with you in the studio, though virtually, but we're together. You can feel me, touch me, know me. And when I sit in front of you and tell you that in 2016, when I started my business, when I did the first ever branding over brunch event, all I sold at the time could sell because I wasn't fully in my leadership. Shout out to all the leaders on the line. A package for $297. Right? And 4 or 5 years later, I'm selling packages for $14,000. How does that happen? You have to believe, because that first event, if I didn't believe, I would have just looked at my lying eyes and said, oops, failure. Oh, the people in the street are laughing. Oh, here you come trying to be all bougie. Have your event, your videographer, your photographer, your country club living, blah, blah, blah. And you only sold a package for $297. Oh, honey, keep your day job. Many times I've been told, oh, Faith, when you get a real job? Because, I told you about when I got laid off in the recession, 2008. When are you going to get a real job? You're going to send out your resume and get a real job. But I believed I was purposed for this work, this life that I'm doing right here, right now. And this is just the beginning. When I'm like, okay, where is the money coming from? And have zero clue, but still go ahead and take inspired action. So one thing I want to share with you guys, just to bring this home for you, is everything you have is at your disposal. So when Gina talks about, the rules and the regulations are, let's see, you must save for retirement. They say get married, secure a mortgage, go to sleep early on a school night, watch your waistline, go to college, get a job. Don't touch your 401k as if it's not yours. Honey, let me just be very clear, very open, very transparent. I have touched my IRA multiple times to source and fund my business because I am demonstrating big faith. Because if I don't do that, I'm like, ooh, no, I got to save this money because da-da-da. God is saying, do you believe, do you trust me that I'm going to 10x whatever you think you need to take out of your IRA to go produce your next event? Do you think I'm going to be able to 10x whatever you need to take out to go fund whatever? And guess what? I already have my evidence. I told you the story yesterday, right? When I gave $50 to 2 ministries and God the next day got my house leased for 2 years with a rent at the time, a lease payment of $3,000. And the woman was like, I want it for 2 years. When everybody, all the people in the streets told me, oh my God, that house? That house is going to be on the market for a year. That's too big a house. You need a special type of person who's going to come lease that. That's not any old regular kind of house. 24 hours, less than 24 hours, my house was leased for 2 years to a woman who said she didn't want any water. She'd been looking at 13, 14 different executive homes, nothing. And my house sat on a lake with a pool and a water feature. You can't tell me. See, this is what I'm telling you. This is why my belief is so, it's irrevocable, my belief, because I look at my evidence in my life. So I'm going to invite you to look at the evidence in your life when you thought like, oh, this wasn't going to work. And it did work out. And God showed himself and said, all you have to do is believe. It's faith. It's your faith. It's your belief. So when Moses tried to come with his story, his reasons, his excuses, and God said, who made your tongue? Like you trying to tell me something. I'm the one who made it. I know exactly what it's capable of doing, right? Your stories are irrelevant to me, Moses. You're going to go do what I ask you to do, which is deliver my people from Egypt. Yes, this is what we get to believe. It's your birthright. And don't be like Cain, because we know it didn't work out too well for Cain, where Cain bartered his birthright for what? A bowl of pepper pot soup? What kind of soup was it that was that good that you're going to give it up your birthright for a bowl of soup? Because he didn't really value it, didn't think it was like, not that special. I'm hungry right now. It's your birthright, my love. You're a child of the living God. And he says it's his pleasure to give you the kingdom. And he's told you the formula. So on my manifested wall, at the top of everything, all the pictures that I have, my private jet, my yacht, I'm a money magnet, my Range Rover, my Bentley, my big house with the tennis court, my TED Talk, my Serena, everything. Like my brand accelerator sold out, verified on Instagram and on Twitter, New York Times bestseller, expect greatness, all of those and more to come. But you know what's at the top of it? The very, very top picture? It's a picture. It's just like a black background with the words, seek first the kingdom of God. So yeah, I want all of those things. I am attracting all of those things, but I am fully in the awareness and the knowledge and the knowing that I get to seek first the kingdom of God, and all these other things that you're desirous of will be added onto you. And you get to seek and you get to believe. Going through that now. What's going? Tell me, Melody, about that. Yes, do masterpiece work. That's absolutely a beautiful thing. So this week, let's just try, because I'm going to wrap us now. Let us not try, because Yoda is like, there is no try. You do or you don't do. So let's just act like we know that. Let's do some faith work today and tomorrow, because that is the foundation. That is the foundation. Last week I played the Tyler Perry, and oh, honey, hold the line. I can't even tell you. I might actually have Jim in the studio next week or something, and we'll do it. We'll talk about this. I can't tell you how many times he gave me some side eye look. Aren't you going to go get a job? Get a job, get a job. Where's your resume? Get a job. Him and my mother. Where are you going to get a job? Get a job, get a job, get a job. My sister quietly worried in the corner down in Atlanta. When are you going to get a job? Get a job, get a job. And because it's here, I feel it. When I am doing my work, I am the happiest I have ever been in life. Even when, don't forget, my corporate money was strong corporate money. But what do I value more? My freedom, which is really, as Tasha says, it's about the choice, freedom to choose. I choose to do or I choose not to do. I choose to fly or I choose to, the choices are freedom. When you are ensconced in a corporate scenario, my love, you are building somebody else's vision, period, done, end of story. And when you think about that, there is no cap. Let me just say this in case somebody forgot. There is no cap on the number of millionaires and billionaires that there can exist on this planet. There is no cap. So when people try to push you back and say, go get a job, it's as if they're saying, look, there's no more. The billionaire seats have sold out. The millionaire seats have sold out. So no need to, when you're flying and you have either status with Delta or American or any of the airlines, and you're like here and you're like, can I get an upgrade? And you're looking at the, you're like looking at that monitor that they have up there and you see your name and you're like probably number 20 waiting on the upgrade. And you're like, I hope those people don't show up. I hope those people don't show up so you can get upgraded to business class or first class. And you're there just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And how does that feel, right? When you're at the mercy of, versus you just come through like the queen that you are and go, yeah, here's my e-ticket, my first class e-ticket. We're not waiting for anybody to feel sorry for us and upgrade us. Here is my ticket. That's why when my husband and I were coming, I told you we booked our cruise, 10-day cruise to the Panama Canal. So the cruise ends in Panama. We're going to stay in Panama for 3 days, and then we're going to fly back. And we looked at each other. We're like, oh yeah, let's just book a first class ticket and come back. Choice, freedom to be able to do that. We're not asking anybody like, ooh, can we stay an extra 3 days? We got to rush back. I'm telling you, when my dad was first, he had a stroke in Jamaica. And then we learned that he had stroke. Now, I'm in corporate, I'm in advertising. I had to ask for time off for 2 weeks to go to Jamaica and be with my dad and sort things out. Of course, they said yes. But listen, the fact that I had to ask, I couldn't just pick up and go and just be focused and laser focused on my family. I had to say, this is what's going, I need to take time off and then, sort out who's going to cover the stuff and whatever while I'm gone. Those things matter to me. I like to just pick up and go whenever I choose to. That's my core value. Freedom, happiness, joy. So even though my corporate money was strong, miserable, tired, stressed out, all kinds of challenges. And it's a different stress. Hear me when I tell you, do I have stress and stuff in my own company right now? Of course I do. But you've heard people say when it's your stress, it's a different kind of stress. It's a different kind of stress. And I am so fully in the knowing now that I am unemployable. Like there is nobody who could say, yeah, now you're going to punch a card. I own you and your time. And here you get 5 weeks. I thought I was living the good life when I got 5 weeks vacation. You couldn't tell me nothing. My mentor, Shanda, oh, I'm sorry. Did she say she takes 5.5 months off the year? Yes, ma'am. So that's the difference. You get to burn now so that later you can have that life. There's no job that's going to say, oh, sure, Melody, you want to go on a sabbatical? You just want to spend some time going to the beaches in the different countries? Sure, go take 5 months off. It's never going to happen. So we get to decide in this moment, what are we believing for? What are we believing for? Jacqueline's giving you love and support. You have to be clear about what your heart's desires are, Melody, and don't let anyone change that. Exactly. Don't let anyone change that, even your spouse, because with mine, I had to hold the line. Do you want me miserable and rich, or do you want me to be happy and on my way to wealth? Which one? Because the miserable and rich is not a good place, not a good look. When your hair is falling out, when you're stressed out. Honey, been there, done that. I know that. I mean, I get to decide. So my love, hold the line. Hold the line. It's just his fear, right? It's just his fear. It's just everybody's fear. It's everybody in the streets fear. It's like, oh my gosh, you're doing that thing. How are you going to... Listen, if the pandemic didn't teach us anything, that there is no such thing as a security safe job. Are you kidding me right now? Now's the best time to become CEO of you. Now's the best time because there's so many opportunities to get funding, so many opportunities to get resourcing. Now we get to be resilient. Now we get to be resourceful. Now when everything is totally shaken up, now's the time to relook and say, why would we rush back into a place where we were having agita, where we were not loving life, where we're like, oh Jesus, it's hump day, and we're like, thank God it's Friday. When you're saying thank God it's Friday, you're not living your best epic life. Yesterday when did I have my vaccine? It was Tuesday. I thought it was Sunday. I was like, what day is it today? For me, that's when I have an epic life, when I don't even know the days of the week. I'm just in flow. I'm just doing me. I'm just creating. I'm just having a magical moment every single day. Because when you're watching the clock, oh Lord, is it 5 o'clock yet? Oh honey. Bob Marley says, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. We get to get out of slave mentality. Right? Even if you have a job right now, you have your exit strategy, you have your planning, you're doing, because I'm telling you, that's not the end all be all. If you have a full-time job, make sure you have some MSIs working. MSIs, multiple sources of income. When I was doing my corporate job, I had my legal shield. Because, as we say in Jamaica, honey, any card can play. Any card can play. That means anything can happen. You could be there going along just like I was, right? I was like, oh, I have arrived. Let me tell you, when I was in Minneapolis and I got recruited to do the Northwest Airlines and the A.G. Edwards accounts, I was doing like a freelance consulting, creative writing, strategy writing thing where I wasn't an employee. It was, contract work. You know what I did? I had the nerve to tell the people. I told the people, oh, I'm no longer going to be able to work with you because I've got this really great new job and I'm going to be full-time. I'm going to be dedicating all of my energy and my resources to it. Thank you very much. And told them, see ya, bye. Fast forward a few years, it's like, oh, Faith, we love you a long time. However, the economy, so we're going to have to let you go. Meanwhile, I gave up my good. Gave up my good contracting thing, thinking I was home. I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And luckily, I was able to go back to them and be like, hey, is it possible to get back on the roster for consulting? And they were like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Yes. It was like, thank you, Lord. This is why I don't burn any bridges behind you. But my point is, I bought in. I was all the way in, like, oh, this is it. Everything's great. And then the next thing you know, my mom says this all the time. The only constant in life is change. That's it. The only constant in life is change. So when we think our bread is buttered, we got this good new job and we're getting our 3-4 weeks vacation and we're set, trust and believe change is coming. Go read Who Moved My Cheese. My number one, right after the 4 agreements. And I just got the 5th agreement. I got to read that. So, yeah. We get to build our empire. We get to believe that there is more for us if you desire it, right? Here's the thing. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5. If that's where you feel called, that's where you are. Like there was a long time I tried to, I don't know, influence my husband into big, like, honey, you could like create your own like business and you can do this, because he's like wicked smart. But for him right now, he does not have that entrepreneurial fire in the belly, risking, getting closer to the edge, taking strategic. That's not him. And I just get to be an allowance for that. He is who he is, and I love him, and I am who I am, and he gets to love me the way I am. So I know my truth. I get to stand in my truth of what makes my blood pump, what makes me fired up, what makes me live like I can't wait for the morning to come, is doing this work that I get to do. I was not like skipping in the morning waiting to go to a corporate job. Like I just had to stand in my truth. So there's no judgment on it, but you get to know, what do you desire? What works for you? What lights you up? Because everybody is different. So if you have a job and you love it and you're like, this is your epic life, then fantastic. Be that and do that. But don't be in a place where you're like, oh my gosh, I hate it. I knew it was time for me to just really be bold. And one of the reasons when I was in corporate, I was like, oh, I'm going to make the exit plan. I'm going to strategize. I'm going to get, because I was hooked on the quote unquote certain money. I mean, I wouldn't even know when it was payday. Right? I'm not watching the bank for just money come. So I was tied to that like, oh, I don't have to, honey, I never balanced a checkbook. Money was just, I write a check, it's good. You get hooked on that. So then when I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be strategizing my exit strategy. One time I was with a coach and she was like, okay, so you get to set an exit date. I was like, wait now, set an actual date? To leave, to walk away, what? Because I was giving it lip service. I was kind of toying with the idea. I'm ready, but I'm kind of not ready, and I'm ready, and I'm kind of not ready. And then God in his infinite wisdom, he's like, look at this fool. Look at her, my little child, trying to act like she's going to have a plan. She has no plan because she like hooked on that good money, but we got to get her off because she's got bigger things to do. And he had my boss call me and say, listen, we're going to need you to move. We need you in headquarters. You did such a great job with the analysts. We need you here. Then, okay, decisions made. Can't go. Not going. Certainly not going. And it was done. And in that moment, I was like almost like in a paper bag, almost hyperventilating, like, holy shit. Like 66% of my money just walked out the door when I said, no, I can't move to HQ. But a certain calmness came over me. It was like, you know, when Jesus talks about you're going to have this peace that passes all understanding, like I should have been freaked out. I should have been like, holy crap, like what. But a calmness just kind of came over me. And this is what I say, guys, if you pursue your dreams and in any worst case scenario, you run it. If you are not homeless under the Roosevelt Bridge, you're good. Keep going. Right? If you are not homeless living in Tent City in LA, keep going. If you are not living on the corner, couching on a gully somewhere in Jamaica, keep going. Because the worst case scenario is what holds us hostage. Oh my gosh, but what if, and then we don't move. But why can't you use the same energy? Oh my God, what if? What if? What if? Right? What if? So you keep moving and you keep getting these opportunities. So I'm just going to leave you guys with this. Do some faith work, do some faith soul searching, go sit and have a conversation with God, call in the name of Jesus. God, help me to have bigger faith. Help me to have big faith. Come into me, God, do a work. This is when I say pray, I say, God, do a work in me. Because I full well know I'm a sinner. Do a work in me. Help me to have big faith, because big faith gives you opportunities. When you believe, when you dare to believe, the audacity to be queen, when you embody that energy that, yes, I'm a queen, doors open for you. So I love you guys so much. I'm going to hop off now. I get to go do my live in the Women Helping Women group. And I will see everybody back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, for a wrap up of the week, a check-in, and then we look forward to next week. If you are looking to get your business moving forward, and I want to invite you to go to this website, the CEO Intensive, click on that, get information on the program. I want to help you become the CEO of you in such a way that you're fully embodied, that you're able to make these magical moves and believe that it's possible for you, because you're going to be in the doing of it. In this program, we're going to be doing a lot of doings, not like, you know, homework and writing stuff, a lot of role playing, a lot of participation. So I'm assembling a board of directors for you. So as a CEO of you, you get experts from all different walks of life. From the Netherlands, Dr. Hans is going to be on the board. Lisa Cohn, Francine, Jamie McCann from LA, who's, you know, head CEO of marketing services, 3 a.m. marketing services. So many people being assembled for you that they become your board of directors. You get to work with them. You get to ask them any questions. So be well, take care, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Bye. What is going on?